didn't come. Hello, Mile High. Welcome to Wednesday Night Live. That was Rob Lowe on piano, Kent Rautenstrauss on the keyboards, Mike Marlier on drums, and Susan Mikulich on bass. And I'm Jennifer, and I'm really happy that you're here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Our beautiful and wonderful and lovely Reverend Kay Johnson has an amazing message for you tonight about Awaken the One Who Knows. And so I thought I would start this evening with some songs about not knowing. And I thought, oh, these two are perfect because you don't know. And then I started getting into the lyrics of this next song. And I realized, oh my goodness, this song is all about intuition. Because I don't know why these things are, I just know. And that's exactly what intuition is. So it is a love song, but I want you to listen to it as if it's a song to yourself, to remind yourself that you don't have to know why you know. You just need to know. And it's okay if it's illogical in your brain. Let your heart and let your intuition be your guide. I don't know why the sky is so blue, and I don't know why I'm so and if there were no music, then I would not get through. And I don't know why I know these things, but I do. And I don't know why, but somewhere dreams come true. Yeah. And I don't know where, but there will be a place for you. And every time you look that way, I would lay down my life for you. And I don't know why I know these things, but I do. And I don't know why, but some are going to make you cry. And I don't know how, but I will get you by. I will try. 'Cause they're not trying to cause you pain. They're just afraid of loving you. And I don't know why I know these things, but I do. And I don't know why the trees grow so tall. And I don't know why I don't know anything at all. But if there were no music, then I would not get through. And I don't know why I know these things, but I do. but I do.
Oh, that was so lovely. Thank you so much, Jennifer Burnett, and to our Mile High Band. What a great way to start our service. I add my welcome to Jennifer's welcome to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in to our service, whether you're watching us on Wednesday night live or whether you're tuning in down the road a piece. We're so grateful to have you with us, and we do have an amazing service planned. I love to talk about intuition because I believe that we all would do so much better in every aspect of our lives if we listened better to that inner voice. And so we're going to have a conversation today. Reverend Simon is here with us, and as Jennifer mentioned, Reverend Kay is here, and she's going to speak about intuition. We're going to have a conversation about the power of intuition, and one of the most confusing things that happens for people who say, I want to be more intuitive, I want to listen more clearly to that intuitive voice. How do I know the difference? How do we know the difference between that deep inner voice of the divine that is guiding us and our maybe crazy, fear-based, not so sure, confused voice? And so that's what we're going to talk about first. And so Reverend Kay, how do you tell the difference between those two voices in your own world, in your own practice?
Well, actually, Michelle, you just explained it.
Oh, I did.
The fear-based voice is not your intuition. It's not that your intuition would never tell you to stop or to not jump or something like that, but it would not feel the way it feels when we come from a place of fear. Mm-hmm. And so that's one thing. The other thing is that it doesn't use the word should. Again, it may give you some advice, like don't jump, but it's not going to be something that has a should in it, or in any way that makes you feel like if I'm doing this, it's going to, or when your mind starts to go, if I make this choice, I wonder who's not going to like this. I wonder who's not going to appreciate this. I wonder if somebody is going to be offended, or all of those things are the chatter, are
right.
The ego chatter, whatever you want to call it, our mind going. The thing is, it's not when your mind is going that the intuition easily comes in. It can, though, sometimes while you're thinking, all of a sudden something different comes in. That's the thing you want to pay attention to. What did that mean exactly? Is there something there for me? Yeah. So it's a lot about paying attention, I think.
Great. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Great answer. What about you, Reverend Simon? How does this show up for you?
I have awesome clarity on this.
Oh, good.
Because I'm pretty certain God doesn't cuss. So whenever in my head I'm like, no, that is not God. That is definitely not God. And there's really a feeling sense. And often it's like if there's a situation that I'm confronted with, it'll be the first thing that comes up, and there'll be a feeling of, yes, that, and then I notice the little voices coming in. Mm-hmm. Here's why I can't do that. Here's why that won't work. Here's what this person, exactly what Kay was talking about. And so if I catch that, when I catch that, and go back to, wait, what did I first feel? Okay, there was a sense of rightness and calmness, and like Jennifer's saying, I know. Mm-hmm. Then if I have the courage and the guts to listen to that voice, then I act on that. And so far, I think I have a pretty good score of everything working out okay when I listen to that voice. Mm-hmm. So really, it's that sense of how does this feel to me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really resonate with what you both have said, and the only thing that I would add from my perspective is also a sense of that intuitive voice never shames, berates, yells, cusses at us. It's not a harsh voice. It's not that voice that has an urgency about it that's based in fear. My experience of my intuitive voice is that it's the most gentle, loving, guiding presence. And it almost, to use the word voice is almost wrong. because it's more of an impulse. It's a divine impulse that sort of, it rises up. I have voices in my head that I know that say, okay, well now we need to call so-and-so, now we need to do this, and don't forget to do that, and let's remember this, and hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. But even when I've been in a situation that was dangerous, I think what you were alluding to earlier, and I needed to utilize my intuition to maybe move out of the way, that voice has never even yelled at me, get out of here! It's more like, you need to leave now. You need to go now. Don't be here now. Move to the left. Turn to the right. It's very gentle, loving, and kind, whereas my other voices, not so much, as you both have indicated. So one of the things that I think would be very helpful is that during these times when we've been faced with months now of multiple challenges, how can we use our intuition? Do you have an example, either one of you or both of you, of a time during the pandemic and the rioting and facing an election and all the things that are going on that you've allowed your intuitive voice to guide you that you could share with us?
Oh, let me count the days where things have gone, started one way and then thank God for this teaching. Most recently, hearing of the shooting of Jacob Blake, and then last night, the 17-year-old young man shot 3 individuals in Wisconsin. So this morning, I woke up in fear, in anger, not feeling like a spiritual leader at all. And went into my practice in essence with one question. It was sort of a question, sort of a, what do I need to know? How can I remember? Ernest Holmes, founder of our teaching, says there's a power for good greater than we are, which is not separate than we are, but greater than we may be in our conscious ego mind. So it was really going into that practice with a willingness to connect with that power. Not in a sense of, ignoring or thoughts and prayers. It's a bad rap at times, and it shouldn't. But it was surrender. It was like, all right, higher self, spirit, beloved, God, I surrender. What is it I need to know? How can I remember in this moment? And I would say almost all the time, ultimately all the time, there is it's almost like a feeling of a loved one putting their arm around me like, all right. Oh, it's being carried across the beach, the 2 footprints in the sand, 1 foot, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
And did you find wisdom came forth that helped you face the situation in the world of form that in that process, or did you just feel comforted mostly? Well,
Difficult to put into words. I know wisdom is more than an intellect, an intellectual understanding. Wisdom / comfort / peace that goes with understanding. And maybe it's the sense of, yes, the comfort comes first, the clarity and consciousness comes first, and then we can act, we can show up in a way that is reflective and demonstrates that peace and comfort.
Sure, a peace that passeth understanding. Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Beautiful. Do you have anything you want to share about this one, Reverend Kay?
Well, I think for sure going to spiritual practice is a lifesaver, frankly. It just is. However conflicted or distressed we become by what is going on, the message that I got was, frankly, you need to understand this better. You need to understand this better. Understand this better, and that I think it refers specifically to the racial situation, and I have, fortunately, the church is offering opportunities to do that, which I love, and I'm going to participate in that because I think, I really don't know. I really don't know very much about this, and so it has been But what saves me certainly from becoming overwhelmed is spiritual practice. And so longer, deeper listening, being there, showing up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. For me, I think I think there have been a number of times with all of these issues that fear has attempted to arise and take over my mind, and there have been a few times around health where with the coronavirus, I will have some symptoms show up, a sore throat, or I'll have a hard time breathing, especially right now. We've got a lot of smoke here in Denver, and so I've had a few times where I've felt a little stuffy and concerned, and I will have that fear voice saying, oh my gosh, I've got that COVID thing. I've got that COVID thing. And it's very interesting to me because I don't feel a fear about becoming sick. What comes up immediately for me is I don't want to contribute to anyone else being sick. So, I don't go a lot of places, but I come here and we're very safe when we come together and we keep our distance and we're really practicing safety. But then I start to think about all the people I've come in contact with and, oh my gosh, what if I make other people sick? And so I've had to just calm myself, go into spiritual practice. I've had to just allow my inner voice to say, now just take a deep breath, pay attention, take your temperature, notice the symptoms, all is well, and if I felt guided to move forward and take a test or do something, I would definitely do that. And that's one of the things about intuition that I think is so important, is that people who want to become more intuitive need to practice it every day. I think what you're both saying. So thank you very much for this great conversation.
Thank you.
And we look forward to more from you, Reverend Kay, and go out and be your intuitive selves. And right now, we're going to hear a beautiful song that Jennifer's going to sing that always touches me very deeply.
One power, one power, one power. There's one power, it's invisible, yet you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, yet you speak it with every word you say. It's mysterious until you know the truth. It's as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the Lord in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. Whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. It's one power. One power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger you abandon for the love that's most deep. It's the one power. One power. What we are is one power. One power. It's the power of the love forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Wow. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much for singing that song. Thank you, band. It was absolutely fabulous. It is one of my very, very favorite New Thought songs because it really encapsulates a strong tenet of our belief system, which is oneness. Oneness revealed. The whole song is about that. And it's also about intuition, because when we look for and pay attention to and try to move toward opening ourselves to our intuition, we are really creating a channel to touch that one power. So I want to start tonight by talking a little bit about a story that was told at our healing support group, which meets every Wednesday. We've been doing it for years now. Of course, we meet by Zoom. And there's a woman who shared a story about her intuition, and she allowed me to share it with you tonight. So her name is Kathleen. Now, Kathleen had a very dire diagnosis. She had a brain tumor on her pituitary gland. Now, the pituitary gland is in the middle of the brain. So it's a very serious situation. It wasn't cancer, but it was a growth. And so the doctors went ahead and did surgery. And then when they came into her hospital room to talk to her, they said, well, the surgery really went very well, but we need to say and tell you that we're really very, very concerned that we didn't get it all. And she said that in that moment, there was just this rush of knowing, yes, you did. Yes, you got it all. Now, she didn't say that to them, but she knew. She absolutely knew that in her heart. Actually, in her whole body is what she said. So where did that voice come from? Where does that voice come from? So because we were talking about this in the group, I said to the group, well, where do you think the voice came from? So people said things like it came from God, it came from my higher self, It was the soul talking to me. It was came from the quantum field of all possibilities. And just interestingly, one of the mission statement of the healing ministry here at Mile High Church is to awaken the inner healer. So I wonder if maybe it was the inner healer that spoke to Kathleen. But whatever we call it, just like in the song, whatever we call it, it is that touch in with spirit. That's where the voice comes from, however it seems to feel. So it's also been called the GPS of the soul. And I do think that's the GPS tells us where to go. So I asked Kathleen a little bit more about this. I said, were you afraid when they told you that, when they gave you this information, did it go through your mind, oh, maybe they're going to recommend chemotherapy or radiation. I don't want to do that. And she said, no, there was no other information that came to me. It was just that intense knowing. And then the next thing she said was really important. She said, and I knew from that moment on that I would live my life as if it were true. And I thought, wow, this is an example of incredible belief. Belief that can actually change things. Now, she said that she did still go ahead and have scans, to check and see. They always wanted to have more scans every many months or so. And she said, I always went to every scan, and I always knew they were never going to find anything, and they never did, but I did it anyway. And finally, they just gave up and said, well, I guess there isn't anything else there. It was quite a dramatic experience. It's been 4.5 years now, and she is well. They've never found anything. So intuition is an immediate understanding. It doesn't require you to ask somebody's opinion. You don't need to do a pros and cons list. It is a knowing that simply comes through. There's no need to think it over because you already know. That's the real essence of intuition. And also, when you trust your intuition, it is really an ultimate act of trusting really two things. Yourself, trusting yourself above all others, and also trusting God, trusting spirit. Because it's this kind of dance between what you have asked or what you have been open to and then spirit moving in. So not all intuition is as dramatic as Kathleen's story. Another person from the group said, well, I do this all the time. She said, just, ordinary things. So for example, I lost my keys in my house somewhere, and I stood in the middle of the room and I said, all right, God, let's have a little help here. And she said, when I do that, I always get something. She asked. And it helps her. It helped her find her keys. It helped her get what it was she needed. So we can make accessing our intuition much more of a daily process, much more easily accessible. But there are things that get in the way. So for example, excessive overthinking, just round and round and round in circles of overthinking, can really keep our intuition at bay. Shoulds, as I talked about earlier in the conversation that we had together, your intuition is not going to come through with that kind of tone. And so if you are thinking, I really should do this because I'm going to disappoint a lot of people, that is not your intuition. That is something else. It's a good opportunity to ask your intuition, but that particular statement is not. And the reason and also worrying about whether people are still going to like me or not if I do this. So all of that is putting the emphasis on somebody else rather than being on you. This is really your decision, and it's your opportunity to tune into your intuition for sure. Fear and worry we talked about. Because when we choose from fear and worry, we're not in touch with the intuition. And another one I would like to talk about is negative self-talk. This can really run things into the ground. Now, I know you indulge in negative self-talk because you're just like me. Now, I borrowed that phrase, I admit it, from Dr. Barry, who gave a talk on Sunday, and if you haven't heard it, you should listen in, where he quoted Dr. Fred as saying, I know you make mistakes because you're just like me. So I'm saying, which is a typical Fredism. So I'm going to use it just a little bit differently. I know you indulge in negative self-talk because you're just like me. So I'll give you a demonstration. So this is a pickleball racket. It's smaller than a tennis racket. It's bigger than a ping pong paddle. This is a pickleball. It looks a little bit like a tennis ball, but it's got holes in it. So it's a wiffle ball. So that's what happens when you decide to take up pickleball during COVID in order to get outside and get a little exercise, and besides, you've heard all about it, and that's what I did. So I am not an athlete. I never played sports as a kid. I've never played tennis, so I'm a real amateur. So I decided, well, I don't know how to do this. I'll get somebody to give me lessons. So I got this coach, signed up for some lessons. So he comes, and frankly, nothing is working. I mean, I'm hitting it over there, I'm hitting it back there. He's teaching me a forehand, teaching me the backhand, teaching me how to serve, but it's going all over, and it's terrible. And so I'm just going, this is so hard. Oh, another bad shot. Oh, how did I miss that? Oh, that's awful. Bad K. So the guy comes over, he walks towards me, and he says, let me talk to you a minute. It doesn't do any good to beat yourself up when you do a bad shot, because it doesn't allow you to get ready for the next shot, which might actually be a good shot. And so you might just let that go. And so as he turned around to walk back to the end of the court, and I stood there and I thought, should I tell this guy that I actually teach this concept all the time? It is so easy to drop into negative self-talk, no matter what the situation is. And that was such a graphic example. I mean, it really, really sort of hit me, and I thought, I can't believe I'm doing this. So, however, I was saved by my pal, Reverend Linda Rangel, who, she and I worked together on the healing ministry. And she's a real good tennis player and a real good pickleball player, which is why I don't play with her. And she said what she does is when she has a bad shot, she brushes it off physically, like that. And then she says, better next time. So now that's what I do. That's what I do. And when you find yourself in negative self-talk, maybe you could do that too. Brush it off. Better next time. So, how can we be more available to click in with our intuition? Well, there's quite a few things here. First of all, unplugging from external information. And I think this is really appropriate in this time because for many of us, this is what I do. I limit the amount of time that I'm willing to watch the news because it drags me down if I watch more and more and more. So I limit that, and then I unplug from that. I unplug from the things that are distressing and move to my work or to my meditation or whatever. So excessive unplugging from external information, you really have to be open in order to be available for your intuition. Another thing is to go to the body. I know in the conversation, Simon kept talking about a feeling. There's a lot of information that your body would give you. Not words, like the story I told you about Kathleen, but when you get a little twinge or a something strange in your gut or your solar plexus or whatever, there may be a message there. Some of us, we sort of cut off here and don't pay very much attention to how the body is actually feeling until it really gives us a pain. Then we pay attention. But that's one of the ways. How are you feeling? I know you've all had the experience of being in a room and somebody walks in and you get this feeling of, I don't think I want to spend a lot of time with that person. There's something about the energy, or maybe that's your intuitive voice. You get a feeling. So going to the body is really a great technique. I think writing. Neil Donald Walsh, is that right? Yeah. He wrote the books about conversations with God. He would just write a question, and he would listen, and then he would write everything that came to him. We can do the same thing. That's another way another technique to just get in touch with that voice, with that one power, with something just greater than we are, greater but yet part of us. And then also, we just need to get still. And I find meditation to be the real antidote for that. And sometimes at the end of my meditation, then I will just sit in the silence. Because by that time, you're so relaxed, you can just sit in the silence and wait. So I'm going to do a little short meditation here, and that will be how we'll end this little conversation. This is based on the research of heart math, and so we're going to do what they call the quick heart coherence. And to start this off, what I'd like to have you do is to think of something in your life right now that you would like some guidance on. Some guidance. So it might be a health issue, it might be a relationship that could use some attention. That would be, or anything else that's on your mind, some concern you have, a decision you have to make, or something that you've been wrestling with in your mind and just can't quite figure out. That would be a good thing. So just identify something that you're going to use in this very, very short meditation before we start. So let's see if we can access our intuition. So close your eyes and get comfortable right where you are. Put down your pencil or anything you've been holding. And then I want you to imagine breathing into your heart space. And you might even put your hand in your heart space. This just makes it a little easier to bring your awareness to that space. And then imagine breathing in to your heart. And then breathing out from your heart. And then again, breathe in through your heart. And breathe out from your heart. And one last time, breathe in through your heart. And then imagine letting the air go out through your heart. And then I would like to have you bring to mind something or someone that just makes you feel wonderful. This may be a person, it may be a place, it may be an experience that you've had, but when you think of it, you just feel wonderful. So just bask in the joy of that, of remembering that memory, of having that, just bask in that joy for just a few moments. And now bring to mind that issue that you identified at the beginning, whatever it was that you would like some guidance, and ask yourself this question. What do I need to know in this moment about whatever you decided. What do I need to know in this moment? And then just listen. And now we will come back out of this short meditation. So you can open your eyes, bring yourself back to your room and to this service. And so whatever occurred to you first is probably the intuition that you need to pay attention to. So if something came to you, I would suggest that you take a pencil and write that down so you won't forget, so you can think about it. And if nothing came to you, if you felt, well, I did it, but really I didn't think any intuitive thing came to me, then I would say, brush it off. Better next time. And so it is.
Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. You have all you need, it's all inside of you. Just close your eyes and breathe and know that you are safe. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. Float into the mystery.
That was so beautiful, so touching. I'm so appreciative of Reverend Kay's message and of that beautiful song and great meditation. So we are truly blessed. And it's at this time of the service that we usually take a moment to say thank you for the gifts that you have circulated through our community. We've received many financial gifts with lots of notes. I was in our office today reading some of the love notes, and it touches our heart to receive them. And I was also thinking about what comes before that. And what I'm aware of is that before anyone chooses to give financially into this community to circulate their good, they must feel in alignment with abundance, feel in alignment with good, feel in alignment with the flow of the divine life. And for that, I am also very grateful. The fact that so many people continue to give into this community tells me that many of us are feeling into that flow, feeling into that abundance. And so we invite you to feel into that today as we come together for another opportunity for sharing our good. You can text your gift to us if you'd like by dialing 45888, put in Mile High and the Mile High Church and their Mile High, and then put the amount in. You can go to our website at milehighchurch.org and make a contribution, or you can mail in a check. We're so grateful for all the ways that you circulate your good. And so just take a moment with me as we close our eyes and give thanks right where we are for the abundant flow of good that is in our lives, and know that we stand in abundance at every moment, and we surrender into it now as we circulate this good. Thank you, life, and so it is.
Have I been sleeping? I've been so still, afraid of crumbling. Have I been careless, dismissing all the distant rumblings, to take me where I am supposed to be, to comprehend the things that I can't see? 'Cause I need to move, I need to wake up, I need to change, and I need to shake up, I need to speak out. Something's got to break up. I've been asleep, and I need to wake up now. And as a child, I danced like it was 1999. My dreams were wild. The promise of this new world would be mine. Now I'm throwing off the carelessness of you, to listen to an inconvenient truth, that I need to move, I need to wake up, I need to change, and I need to shake up, I need to speak out. Something's got to break up. I've been asleep, and I need to wake up now. I am not an island, I am not alone. I am my intentions, trapped here in this flesh and bone, and I need to move, I need to wake up, I need to change, and I need to shake up, I need to speak out. Something's got to break up. I've been asleep, and I need to wake up now. I want to change, and I need to shake up, I need to speak out. Something's got to break up. I've been asleep, and I need to wake up now.
In preparation for prayer, I acknowledge the spaces in which my heart hangs heavy. My heart hangs heavy at the news of another black man shot. My heart hangs heavy at the news of peaceful protest turned into violent riot. My heart hangs heavy at images of cities burning, armed militias. My heart hangs heavy in thought of those who don't know how they'll put food on the table. My heart hangs heavy at the thought of the lives lost, the loved ones left. And so I turn from the conditions of the material world. I turn not in denial. I turn not out of fear. I turn not in ignorance. I turn not as a means of bypassing what seems to be, but I turn to the one. To allow, to be willing for my consciousness to be lifted in remembrance of the divine. I allow myself to turn into the mystery, to be held in the arms of the beloved, to affirm, to know, to proclaim that there is a power for good greater than we are. And in each and every moment, it is desiring to work its way into experience, into demonstration, in, through, around, and as each of us. And so I surrender. I step into a place of willingness to be used as an instrument for a higher level of consciousness being expressed in the world of form. I speak this word, affirming the ever-availability of peace, and I invite all who hear this prayer to speak aloud the names of those they likewise affirm are held within the experience of peace. I turn to that source of infinite prosperity and abundance, that infinite ocean which can never be drained dry. And let us speak the names of all those for whom we are affirming abundance and prosperity. And I speak this word, knowing that there is a harmony, an order, a right action that is ever available, that is working its way into experience. And so we speak the names of those for whom we are affirming harmony in relationship. And I affirm that there is a perfect pattern of wellness, right functioning, right ordering, right alignment that is ever available to be expressed and demonstrated in one's body temple. And so let us speak the names of those that we hold within the light of perfect wholeness, perfect health, perfect vitality. And let us affirm the good, the beauty, the love, the consciousness of dignity, compassion, that is making itself known right here and now through each of us. Out of the darkness, the seed arises. And I'm so grateful to know that this word is already fulfilled within the mind of God. And so I release it into the law, into the creative process, against which nothing can stand. This is my word, and so it is. And there's more I have to say, apparently. I just realized. Thank you for being here. We are so grateful that we can connect in this way. Wish we were here together, but thank you. Thank you to Jennifer and the band. Y'all are so awesome. You bring the gift and the love of your music. It's incredible. Thank you, Reverend Kay. A very inspiring message. Dr. Michelle and Reverend Josh, who isn't here, thank you for being our spiritual leaders of this community. It makes a difference. So let's see. If you are in need of prayer, and if you are not in need of prayer, certainly you know someone who is in need of prayer. You can put in an online prayer request. Simply go to our website, milehighchurch.org/prayer. You can fill in a prayer request, and it will be prayed over by our practitioners, by our prayer practitioners. Next Wednesday, Reverend Josh is speaking, and this Sunday, he's doing double duty. Reverend Josh is going to give a message on the power and the creativity of saying no. So I hope you will join us. Look forward to all the ways in which we can connect. Thank you for being here. Peace and blessings.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes,